Boys, UFC 318, Holloway versus Poirier number 3 just got announced, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not feeling this announcement that much, but it is what it is, you know. Is it the worst fight we could make? I mean, no. But again, is it the best one we can make? No. The issue is, you know, I've been seeing mixed results. I've been seeing people say, oh, what a great fight. This is the best fight you could ever make. That's just wrong. Then on the other hand, I see people saying, what a dog shit announcement. The UFC's retarded for booking this fight. Why would they book this fight? I've been seeing it from both different directions. But at the end of the day, let's look at Dustin Poirier. Who is Dustin going to fight for his retirement fight? He's ranked number 5 right now in the division. Are we going to give him Dan Hooker? I mean, no, he said legends only, so that cuts out Dan Hooker, Gamrot, Paddy, Beneil, Moicano. I'm not going to give him someone outside the rankings or lower than that. If we go above the rankings, we have Max Holloway ahead of him, Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, and Arman. And, you know, I saw people saying, this is stupid. Why didn't we just give him, you know, like Arman? I mean, I feel like that would just be a murder case right there. I don't think they should have done that. I'm glad they didn't give him Arman. I think realistically, Max Holloway was the only fight for Dustin Poirier for his retirement fight. Unless he wanted to go like up the rankings to fight like a Colby Covington for beef, you know, but even then that's pretty lame. He's not gonna, you know what I really wanted to happen, which I'm so sad it didn't. I don't know if a lot of people would agree on me, because this is kind of like a bullshit fight, but again, this fight itself is a bullshit fight because it doesn't do anything for the division, because Max Holloway is already ahead of him in the rankings and Dustin Poirier is retiring after this, so it's a bullshit fight. It doesn't matter for the rankings, just pure entertainment. I would have loved to see we had got, you know, Nate Diaz back into the UFC on a one-fight deal to fight Dustin. You know, that fight has been scheduled before. It was scheduled and it kept falling out. I would have loved to have that one instead of Max Holloway, because to be honest, Max Holloway, I wanted to see Max versus Charles Oliveira so bad. And, you know, there's an opportunity where this does happen. Because right now, lightweight is a little messy. If Charles goes out here and fights, I don't even know who they would fight. It would just be rematches for Charles at this point. But if he goes out and loses, his next fight could be against Max Holloway. I would have loved to have seen that. It is what it is. Again, is it the worst fight in the world? No, it's going to be entertaining. However, as of right now, this is the only fight at UFC 318, and it is, so far, I think it's scheduled to be the main event. Like, I don't see them promoting it this heavy just for it to be a co-main event spot and not announce the main event. I think it's a main event spot, and this is definitely not a fight that it warrants having a lackluster undercard. You know, we need to stack this card, and even, you know, it looks like the UFC is not going to go with my idea for International Fight Week. Bring most of those fighters that I said on International Fight Week, put it on 318. And yeah, this could be either a really good pay-per-view card, because again, this is a bullshit fight, but it is going to be a fun, entertaining fight at the end of the day. So it's either going to be, you know, a bullshit fight with some pretty okay fights underneath it, or it's going to be a stacked pay-per-view, and I'm hoping for a stacked pay-per-view. The only thing is, I don't see them putting any other, at least male champs, on this card, you know. I don't think we'll see even a flyweight fight as a co-main event. I don't think they would do that. I could see them doing, you know, like a Weili versus Jan Arabia on this card, but I don't know if they want to keep Weili active. I think they want her to sit out so she can fight the winner of Valentina versus Manon Fiorot. But yeah, it's so sad because, like I said, we could have had such a better retirement fight for Poirier. I would have loved to see the Nate Diaz fight. Is that realistic? No. Again, it's also a bullshit fight, but would it be as competitive? Probably not. I think this is going to be a very competitive fight. I do think Poirier is past his prime quite a bit, though. Even in the Gaethje fight, he looked a lot slower than what he did previously. He looked slower. I'm not gonna say his chin was gone, because he got hit with a good kick to the head, so I'm not gonna take that into consideration. But he just looked slower out there. Granted, he did amazing against Makhachev, and I arguably think he should have retired there, going out with a walkout, doing extremely well against Islam Makhachev. Yes, there was no real point in that fight where he was winning, but he did very good from what everyone was expecting. Everyone was expecting Islam to go out here and steamroll Dustin Poirier, but Dustin Poirier held his own to the very end. Ended up getting submitted, but it took him 5 rounds to do that against an old man Poirier. I think that should have been Poirier's retirement fight. I think that was a good send-off point. But this one, I don't think he's going to beat Holloway. Like I said, I think Holloway is... Right now, I believe Holloway is... I don't know if he's in his prime, though. I think he might be... I would say he's in his prime. Yeah, I think Holloway is in his prime right now. You know, coming off the knockout loss to Ilia Topuria, it is what it is. But he did very good against Topuria. People forget that Topuria didn't just steamroll Max Holloway. Max Holloway held his own there and arguably won a round in between there. But I could see Poirier getting knocked out by Max Holloway in this fight. And the thing that sucks the most, you know, is let's say we had let's say we had Poirier versus Diaz, and Poirier got the win. Not only is it a feels good moment for Poirier, it doesn't really affect the rankings. It doesn't really affect the career pathway for Diaz, to be honest. However, if Poirier goes out here and beats Max Holloway for the 3rd time, if he stops Max Holloway, then that's just Max Holloway's career is pretty much finished. You know, he's not going to be in title contention, I believe, anymore. I think it comes to a complete halt his career, and I don't think he comes close to touching the belt again. Because are they going to give, you know, because then the sentiment for Max Holloway, his career is going to be defined as, yes, he had amazing wins, but when he went up to lightweight, he lost to some guy who was already halfway out on his retirement fight. You know, he's not going to get a title shot after that. So if Max Holloway goes out here and loses, huge implications. Plus, you know, it's a BMF fight. So it's looking like if we follow history, Max Holloway's ass is going to get knocked out, which is a possibility in this fight, but I think I'm going with Max Holloway. I wouldn't be surprised if Max Holloway puts out Dustin Poirier in this fight, but again, I could see a decision win. I could see a lot of different paths to victory, but I think Max got this one. And then after that, you can look at the rankings, and it's such a stupid fight because Max is already ranked ahead of him in the rankings, but Max Holloway is below Justin Gaethje. Tell me how that makes sense. But if Max goes out here and wins, maybe put him number 3 in the division, Gaethje number 4, Dustin out of the rankings. But yeah, you guys have to let me know what do you guys think of this card, because so far, you know, we only have these 2 fights, but so far I see mixed opinions on this fight. But again, it's not that bad. Yes, there's some pros. Yes, there's some cons of it. Yes, we could have made better matchups, in my opinion, for both of these fighters, but it's going to be an entertaining fight. I'm hoping they stack this card. I'm looking at the rankings right now. Like, if we don't have another title fight, what could be a good co-main event? I'm looking at the divisions. Do I want a featherweight? Do I want a flyweight, bantamweight? I think a good co-main event. I don't know if I want another lightweight fight at co-main, but like a Leon Edwards, I'm just kidding, like a Kamaru Usman, Joaquin Buckley, that could be a good co-main. Israel Adesanya, Sean Strickland. We have maybe even a Yuri. Get a Yuri Prochazka in there against Carlos Alberg. Heavyweight, we won't talk about heavyweight. And yeah, there's possibilities to have a fun fight here, a fun fight card. Is it gonna be worth the pay-per-view? I don't know. I'm hoping that the UFC don't fumble this one. And yeah, you know, it's crazy because I see the first thing I saw on my timeline was this is the best fight ever made. I don't know how you can think this is the best fight ever made in UFC history. That was literally the title of his video, but it is what it is. I opened my Instagram up. I saw the UFC posted this. I'm like, fuck. I looked around to see if it was maybe like a fake poster, because you know how I've been baited before by these fake posters. So I'm hoping that it's not real. This shit's real. I'm like, fuck. It is what it is. Again, am I excited for it? Maybe it'll start to kick in when the card happens, but right now I don't give a fuck. I think a lot of people don't care, except for the people that are just nonstop glazing. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think of this matchup Who would you have had Dustin Poirier fight instead of Max Holloway? Like I said, I wanted that Nate Diaz. That might be extremely unrealistic, but I don't think so. Nate said he wanted to come back to the UFC, but I don't know. The UFC are moving retarded recently. I would have tried to get Diaz at least, but yeah, let me know in the comments below. Who would you match these guys up with differently? Do you like this matchup? And yeah, hopefully, you know, some excitement starts to build off. Hopefully they have some fun build up to this. Like, both these guys are nice guys. Hopefully they have like a face off. Even a face off would be nice, like a sit down face off. The thing they did with Jorge Masvidal and Darren Till, something like that to build up some hype, because I don't think there'll be much hype for this fight unless Max Holloway just goes full heel mode and starts like chirping at Poirier. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching to the end of the video, and I will see you guys in my next video.